You can get my 100 days content calendar plus thumbnail prompts for every video, and you'll find it in the description below right now. Subscribe now and hit the bell so you never miss any clear crypto lessons. Today we are getting practical about keeping your crypto safe. Cold wallets, hidden backup methods, beginner mistakes, and how smart investors protect assets. If you own crypto or plan to do this video will give you step-by-step guide of how you could do that. You can get my 100 days content calendar plus thumbnail prompts for every video I create on this channel in the description right now. Subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss clear crypto lessons. Today we'll get practical about keeping our crypto safe. Cold wallets, hidden backup methods, beginner mistakes, and how smart investors protect assets. That's what we'll learn today. If you own crypto or plan to, this video will give you a step-by-step checklist you can use today. Stick around. By the end, you will know exactly what to do and what not to do. Quick overview. First, cold wallets, then hidden backup ideas, then common beginner errors, and finally, investor grade protection routines. Let's start with the basics. What a cold wallet actually is and why it matters. A cold wallet is any wallet that's offline. That means your private keys are stored away from the internet and unreachable by remote hackers. Examples for cold wallet are hardware wallets like Ledger and Trezor, paper wallets, or an air-gapped computer you never connect to the internet. Why use cold wallets? Simple. They dramatically reduce risks. Hot wallets, exchanges and phone apps which are convenient, but they are more exposed to hacks and theft. Think of a hardware wallet like a sealed safe that signs transactions inside itself. Your private key never leaves the device. It only sends a sign instruction to the blockchain. Here's a simple flow. You request a withdrawal, the hardware wallet signs in, and the signed instruction goes to the network, and your private key stays safe online. Step-by-step setup checklist for you for the hardware wallet would be: buy from an official vendor, check tamper seals, never buy used, and update firmware right away before you do that. To create the wallet and write down the recovery seed on paper or better on a metal backup. Verify the seed by restoring it to a new device before you fund the wallet. Store the device and backup separately. We'll cover hidden storage methods next. Quick misconceptions to avoid would be: never screenshot your seed, don't store it in cloud drives, and don't assume exchanges are perfectly safe. Now, let's talk about hidden wallet safety methods. Physical theft, fires, floods, or even a curious relative can put your seed at risk. Use layered protection, physical separation, disguise redundancy. Don't rely on one single method. Method 1, split your seed phrase. Divide a 12 or 24 word seed into 2 or 3 parts and store them in different locations. For example, keep one part in a safe deposit box, another at home, and the third one would be the optional third in a separate city. Make reconstruction straightforward and documented for a trusted person or an hire. The second method would be use metal backups. Paper burns and water damages. Etch your seed into steel or a stamped metal plate designed for recovery phrases. Method after this would be to use a decoy wallet. Keep a small hot wallet with minimal funds as a plausible decoy and keep the bulk in cold storage. Plan your decoy story so that it looks consistent. Don't make a thief suspicious in a way that increases risk. Method 4 would be geographical and institutional separation. Use a mix: home safe, safe deposit box, trusted friend, or a lawyer or a trust service for legal backup. The fifth method would be multi-signature wallets. Multi-signature requires multiple independent keys to move funds. For example, 2 to 3 or 3 to 5 setups, which reduces single point failure. Practical do's and don'ts would be: do encrypt and document recovery steps. Don't store your seed in plain text where it can be found. Now, the most common beginner mistakes to watch out for. I'll cover the top 5 and how to avoid them. Mistake number 1 is reusing passwords and storing seeds insecurely. Reuse passwords let one breach cascade to many accounts. Never store your seed or private keys in cold storage, email drafts, or phone photos. Mistake number 2 is falling for phishing scams and fake support. Scammers impersonate wallets, exchanges, and influencers. So double check URLs and channel contacts. Mistake number 3 is buying used hardware wallets or ignoring tamper warnings. Used devices can be preloaded with malware. Buy new from official sources only. The fourth mistake is overtrading and frequent on-chain moves. Every transfer increases exposure and fee costs. Minimize unnecessary transfers. The fifth mistake is not testing recovery. People only test recovery after they lose access. Test restoring your seed to a spare device before funding the real wallet. Short real-world image would be losing a phone logged into an exchange, which can cause panic, while a well-hidden cold wallet avoids that panic. Next would be how smart investors set up and maintain high-value crypto protection. Smart investors follow a few simple principles. Reduce single point failure, plan for physical and legal contingencies, and minimize exposure. Here's a practical routine you can use: weekly, monthly, or quarterly checks to keep things secure. Weekly, you review balances, check for unusual activity, and review devices that have account access. Monthly, you will verify backups, check hardware wallet firmware, rotate passwords, and two-factor authentication where needed. Quarterly would be review your estate plan and trusted contacts and confirm your recovery process still works. Advanced setups for higher value holdings would be a single signature vault with distributed keys, metal backups, geographic separation, and legal backup. The example for the setup would be 2 hardware wallets that you can control plus 1 institutional signer, so no single key can move funds. Another example would be a long-term cold storage with a metal seed backup split across 2 secure locations plus a notarized will listing access instructions stored with a lawyer. Privacy tips would be separate trading wallets from long-term holdings and avoid creating public trails for your main holdings. If you must share access with hires, use a lawyer or a trusted custodian to hold encrypted instructions and release them on a trigger event. What to do after a security incident? Freeze exposed accounts, move funds to a new cold wallet, change all passwords, and inform exchanges and any relevant parties. Consider a security audit if you believe your keys were targeted or you are managing large sums. Quick recap of the technical checklist would be: use a hardware wallet, secure the seed on metal, split backups, use multi-signature where needed, and test recovery. Now I'll walk you through the exact wording to use when you document recovery instructions for a trusted person. Short, clear, and secure. Write the steps as I mentioned: what device to use, where the backups are stored, how to restore the seed, and who to contact for help. Keep that document encrypted and stored in a safe place. If you use a lawyer or trustee, store an encrypted file with access instructions and a key holding plan that requires multiple confirmations. A short sample wording would be: recovery location A, safe deposit box 12B, recovery location B, home safe. Instructions would be: restore 12 words in order to a new hardware wallet. Contact would be lawyer name. Don't keep the plain seed inside that document. Keep only instructions and the location of the physical backup unless the holder is fully trusted. Now let's talk about costs and trade-offs. Safety always has friction. The more secure you are, the less convenient day-to-day access becomes. For active traders, use hot wallets for small trading balances and cold wallets for long-term holdings. This balances convenience with security. For long-term holders, accept the extra steps: metal backup, multi-signature, and clear inheritance plan. Let's run a short scenario to illustrate mistakes versus best practice. Scenario A would be Alice keeps all crypto on an exchange and uses the same email password everywhere. She gets phished and all funds are gone. Scenario B would be Bob uses a hardware wallet, stores a metal seed in a safe deposit box, and keeps a decoy hot wallet for everyday spending. Bob sleeps better and recovers quickly if needed. Which scenario would you rather be in? The point is simple. Steps make a huge difference. Now, a checklist you can screenshot and keep. Buy official hardware, update firmware, write seed on metal split backups, test recovery, use multi-signature for big sums. The extra tip for this issue would be use a password manager for unique strong passwords and enable two-factor authentication with an authenticator app rather than SMS where possible. Extra tip would be when signing transactions, always verify addresses on the hardware device screen. Malware can alter addresses on your computer. If you ever lose a hardware wallet but still have the seed, you can recover on a new device. That's why testing recovery before funding matters. If you lose the seed and the device, coins are most often unrecoverable. That's why backups and splits matter. Now, a quick note on multi-signature services and custody options. There are reputable institutional custody services that add legal and insurance protections, but they charge fees and add counterparty considerations. If you are a high net worth investor, consider combining institutional custody with personal multi-signature layers for redundancy. Let's cover privacy and operational security in a few short points. Don't post balance, screenshots. Don't discuss holdings publicly, and avoid linking your identity to large on-chain movements. Use different email accounts and different wallets for public-facing interactions and private holdings. If you use a hardware wallet, keep its recovery phrase offline at all times. If you must digitize anything, encrypt it and store keys offline with extreme caution. Common questions: can a hardware wallet be hacked remotely? The answer would be, if used correctly and kept firmware updated, remote hacks are extremely unlikely because the private key never touches the internet. Another question: what if someone forces me to give up my seed? This is where split seed decoy wallets and legal safeguards come in. Plan for real world scenarios, build redundancy and legal access that doesn't expose the seed to casual threats. If you plan to pass assets to heirs, talk to a lawyer who understands crypto and include encrypted instructions in your estate plan. Let's review the fastest actions you can take today to improve security. Action 1 would be buy an official hardware wallet and set it up following vendor steps. Action 2 would be create a metal backup and store it securely. The third action would be split backups across all three, at least two locations. The fourth action would be test restoration on a spare device. The fifth action would be enable unique passwords and use an authenticator app for two-factor authentication. The sixth action would be separate hot wallets for trading from cold wallets for storage. Now, if you want a template for recovery instructions or an inheritance checklist, grab the 100 days content calendar. In the description, it includes templates and thumbnails, prompts too. Now, a short note about tools. Recommended items include Ledger or Trezor for hardware wallets and a stainless steel seed plate for backups. Remember, never buy used devices, never reveal your seed phrase to anyone, and never paste it into a website or chat. Now, a few quick myths to clear up. My exchange insures my funds. Exchanges may have limited insurance. It's not a guarantee you will be fully covered. My password is enough. Passwords protect accounts, but private keys control funds. Protect both. Multiple signatures is only for institutions. It's now accessible for individuals using simple setups like 2 of 3 with 2 hardware wallets and a third backup. Let's end the educational part with a final practical checklist on screen for you to copy or screenshot. Checklist summary would be hardware wallet, firmware updates, metal seed backup, split storage, test recovery, multi-signature for big sums, legal inheritance plan. If you follow those steps, you will cover most of the real world threats to your crypto. Final short scenario would be, imagine your house floods. A metal backup in a bank safe deposit keeps your crypto recoverable. That's the value of planning. One last security routine would be, I recommend once every quarter run a recovery drill with a spare device and check your documentation. If anything feels complex, start small. Move a tiny test amount to your hardware wallet and practice restoring with the seed. If this helped you, please hit subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss more practical crypto lessons. Your next step would be to watch the next video that covers market cycle signals, whale accumulation, price psychology, and indicators investors watch before major Bitcoin rallies. That video will help you understand when investors move and how to pair protection with timing strategies. You will find the link in the end screen and description. Also check the description for the 100 days content calendar and recovery templates. Reference and resources are listed under the name Smart Crypto Map in the description. That is the name of my channel, the handle of my channel. Thanks for watching. Secure your keys, protect your future. I'll see you in the next video. Watch next, cover market cycle signals whale accumulation, price psychology, and indicators investors watch before major Bitcoin rallies.